TicketMaster agrees to pay $10 million to Crowdsurge. Microsoft releases details on SolarWinds Hack. Veritas released a handful of CVEs and Free Boot Camp for CISSP Candidates, and more. Happy New Year 2021. Hello and welcome to Simplified Security Bits episode number 5. I am your host, Durgesh, and today is January 7th, 2021, coming to you straight from Houston, Texas. I hope you had a good time with your family and friends, of course following the CDC mandate for COVID-19, and were away from your work and busy schedules, and had the time to reflect on your year 2020. I was fortunate to have some time off this year and did a lot of thinking and plans for 2021. So for this new year, apart from my personal and professional goals, I am hoping to provide my listeners some really interesting and useful information in 2021 version of the podcast. So starting in 2021, I will have two formats of my podcast. One is called Simplified Security Bits, and the other is called Simplified Security Bytes. The short format of the podcast, which is under 8 minutes, mostly covers important headlines, CVEs, and important security events, and is called Security Bits, which is this podcast. For the more special interviews and tidbits on security and other special discussions, I have created a 8 to about 32 minute long format called Security Bytes. Keep watching my Twitter and other social platforms for more information. Links are in the show notes. This episode and future episodes are available in video and audio formats. For more information, go to icsbits.com/simplified. Now for the news segment. TicketMaster was in the news for illegally and repeatedly accessing its competitor Crowdsurge's computers to collect business intelligence through stolen passwords and tools to access Crowdsurge's information systems without authorization. TicketMaster Entertainment Incorporated is an American ticket sales and distribution company based in California. It merged with Live Nation in 2010. Crowdsurge is the number one competitor of TicketMaster, and to gain a business advantage, TicketMaster was involved in several business espionage and antitrust violations. The hacking allegations were reported in 2017 after Crowdsurge sued Live Nation for antitrust violations. From the public document on Department of Justice's website released on December 30th, 2020, the former head of Ticketmaster's Artist Services Division, Zeshan Zaidi, pled guilty to conspiring to commit computer intrusions and wire fraud on his participation in this scheme. Court documents indicate former Crowdsurge employee Stephen Mead joined the company in 2013, after which point Ticketmaster executive Zeshan Zaidi and others encouraged Mead to share secrets and analytics from his time at Crowdsurge. Ticketmaster was fined $10 million and has agreed to pay up. While this resulted in computer fraud followed by a lawsuit, this could have been prevented if the company had a strong corporate compliance policies and procedures which would have prevented and detected violations of applicable law, regulations, rules, and ethical standards by employees, agents, and others. It may be a good time to look into your company policies and procedures and keep them up to date. Here is an update to SolarWinds Hack. And this is from Microsoft Security blog. According to their investigation, the compromised SolarWinds Orion platform DLL that led to this sophisticated attack was digitally signed by the attackers. The fact that the compromised file is digitally signed suggests the attackers were able to access the company's software development and distribution pipeline. Evidence suggests that as early as October 2019, these attackers have been testing their ability to insert code by adding empty classes. Therefore, insertion of malicious code into SolarWinds Orion Business Layer DLL likely occurred at an early stage before the final stages of the software build, which would include digitally signing the compiled code. As a result, DLL containing the malicious code is also digitally signed, which enhances its ability to run privileged actions and keep a low profile and evade getting flagged. Microsoft put out a statement on their response center stating that they have not found any evidence of access to production services or customer data. Also, their investigations does not find any indication that their systems were used to attack others. CISA released a new guidance document on December 30th to previously issued advisory on supply chain compromise. It is a very useful document and the link is in the show notes. One thing is for sure, this is a supply chain attack and definitely points to weaknesses in many areas from weak passwords to public-facing servers to issues in change management, also the ability to move quickly and remove affected builds in time before it was downloaded several thousands of times by its customers. Vancouver's transit system, TransLink, was hit by a ransomware in December of 2020. And they are still recovering and are not completely back in operation. Network drives where encrypted, hijacked printers spit out the ransom note and possibly the attackers exfiltrated employee information. All employees of TransLink were strongly advised to sign up for identity and credit card monitoring services. The attackers behind this attack were identified as Egregor ransomware, which has struck many other companies before December. More details are in the show notes. You actually refer to a Trend Micro article for this particular information. If you're looking for more information on TransLink's ransomware attack, take a look at the news coverage put out by Bleeping Computer. Link is in the show notes. Now for the patch or latch segment. While there are several CVEs that gets issued and published every day, my podcast focuses on new or sometimes very critical CVEs. Today's CVE is CVE 2020-36168. Actually, there are several others, maybe about 11 of them. Veritas identified several vulnerabilities in their line of products related to OpenSSL libraries on December 23rd. Veritas is a company that makes enterprise backup software. An issue was discovered in Veritas Resilience Platform 3.4 and 3.5. It leverages OpenSSL on Windows systems when using the Managed Host add-on. On startup, it loads the OpenSSL library. This library may attempt to load OpenSSL.cnf. It's basically a configuration file, which does not exist. By default, on Windows systems, users can create a directory under C drive and create a configuration file with the extension .cnf and load malicious OpenSSL engine, resulting in an arbitrary code execution as a system when the service starts. This gives the attacker administrator access on the system, allowing the attacker to access all data, access all installed applications, etc. I have both the CVE as well as the Veritas Advisory links in the show notes. Okay, now for some interesting events and training around cybersecurity in our Security Buzz segment. SANS Institute is offering a free virtual summit happening in March of this year. The free days are between March 4th through 5th. Make sure you check the box for the free summit if you are interested when you are registering. Link is in the show notes. Certification Station, a Discord community, is offering a free CISSP bootcamp in association with Adam Gordon, the edutainer who teaches various technology and security courses. To be able to gain access to this bootcamp, you have to be a member of the Certification Station Discord community, as this is very exclusive to that community, which is totally free, and you will find like-minded cybersecurity professionals. Links are in the show notes. Bootcamp information is available in the announcements section of the community. By the way, I have been through this bootcamp and I highly recommend it. And Certification Station is a community managed by professionals who are always engaging in conversations around security and professional development. So do check them out. That is it for this week. Please provide me your feedback by reaching out on my Twitter @DurgeshKalya. All the links to anything I have discussed in this episode is in the show notes of this podcast. Make sure you subscribe to Simplified Security episodes available as podcast and on YouTube. Go to icsbits.com/simplified for more details. I am your host, Durgesh Kalya. Catch me on my next episode on your favorite podcast app. Until then, be safe and think before you click.